Good afternoon. The time is now 5:30, and I would like to call to order the November 11th, 2024 Academic Achievement Committee for the school year 24-25. I am Mrs. Madeline Lasalle Frazier. I am the chair of this committee and District 8 representative for Prince George's County School Board. Let's begin with introductions as we always do, starting with our committee members, followed by the PGCPS administration staff, board office staff. Thank you all for joining us today on this beautiful Monday, Veterans Day.
Hey, good evening. My name is Jamal Jonga. I'm the Academic Achievement Vice Chair.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Sheila Adams Stafford, and I represent District 4. Thank you for being here tonight.
Good evening. I'm Zipporah Miller, and I represent District 5.
Hello, everyone. I'm Judith White. I'm Chief Academic Officer.
Evening, I'm Kia McDaniel, Director of Curriculum and Instruction.
Good evening, I'm Melissa Canny, the supervisor for the English Language Development Program.
I'm Melissa.
Good
Good
evening.
evening. Oh, go ahead.
Good evening, Dulce Santos. I'm the Multilingual Family Engagement Specialist.
Good evening. I'm Sheila Jackson, Director of our Department of Family and Community Partnerships.
And good evening. My name is Rosa Lopez. I'm the Board Administrative Support.
Okay, thank you for that. As a reminder, this committee meets monthly on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Our monthly topics will be posted on board docs in advance for each meeting. I would like to take a moment to emphasize the upcoming academic achievement meeting for December 19th, 2024. At this meeting, the administration will deliver an in-depth data review that will focus on key areas such as attendance, benchmark data, and literacy for kindergarten through grade 2. This presentation will be aligned with the work plan in the areas of equity and the unique brilliance of students with disabilities, comprehensive support improvements, CSI, the schools, and the multilingual learning parent engagement. Members of the public are welcome to register prior to this committee meeting for prior testimony on agenda items, whether live, written, or via pre-recorded video. Lastly, for those unable to join the live meeting tonight, a recording will be available for later viewing on the PGCPS YouTube channel and on board docs. Ms. Lopez, could you please call the roll?
Mrs. Adams Stafford. Mrs. Adams Stafford. Mr. Jungle.
Hi, my audio kind of glitched out. Can you repeat what just said? What was just said?
We're calling the roll.
Oh, aye.
Dr. Miller.
Present.
Mrs. Frazier.
Present.
Mrs. Adams Stafford. I think we may lost her, but we had three three present, Madam Chair.
Okay, a quorum is present. Moving on to 1.3, the adoption of the meeting agenda. If there are no objections, the committee will adopt the November 11th, 2024 meeting agenda. There being no objections, the meeting agenda is adopted. Moving right along to 1.4, we will do the approval of the committee meeting minutes. If there are no objections, the committee shall approve the October 21st, 2024 meeting minutes as distributed. Okay, there being no corrections, the meeting minutes are approved. I don't think we have any public comments today. So
No.
we're going to move right along to section 3, which is a discussion of item presentation. And this is a very special meeting for me in terms of myself being an English language learner. I learned English when I was 12. I'm still learning English, and sometimes I still think in Spanish. So for me, this is very special. Thank you. So I'm going to now yield to Dr. Judith White, Chief Academic Officer, and introduce the agenda item for 3.1.
Thank you so much. So I have the honor this evening to have Melissa Canny, who is our supervisor for our English Language Development Department or English Language Department. And she makes sure that we are doing all things for our multilingual learners, which we are excited about. In partnership with her, she's brought staff, and we've also brought the staff from our Family Engagement Department, because there's many things that go hand in hand. We try to break down the silos, and we identify that there are different people, even that sit in different departments, that help and assist in the work. So with them, they have Ms. Santos with us, who is on board, and we are excited about the work that she'll do this year. And of course, I have Dr. McDaniel here, who is the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, as our work in the ELD office falls under Dr. McDaniel. So my team is here. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Canny to get us started, and she will prompt whoever needs to come in inside the presentation.
Thank you, Dr. White. So good evening. We are excited tonight to share with you about our multilingual learner parent engagement and how we are going to enhance and expand our services beyond the classroom. And we will also share the theory behind our practice and how we're going to move engagement for our multilingual learner families. Of course, you have myself and Ms. Santos with you tonight to share. Thank you to the board for being with us and leading our work. Just to start, I want to make sure that you know who our population is and who we're starting to meet. We have 34,000 active multilingual learners as of October 1st. 19,000 of those students are at elementary, with 8,000 at high school and 6,000 in middle school. As you can see, this is an important topic because our population has continued to grow over the last 10 years. We had about 14% of the population in 2014, and we were up to 25% of the population as of 2024. Now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Santos to share what our plans are for this year and the coming years and how we are going to engage our families.
Thank you, Dr. Caney. Hello, my name is Dulce Santos, and I'm the Multilingual Family Engagement Specialist. Thank you for the chance to speak with you today. I also want to thank our families and community members that have taken the time to join us this evening. También quiero agradecer a nuestras familias y miembros de la comunidad que se han tomado el tiempo de acompañarnos esta noche. I'd like to share a little bit about my background and what makes me so passionate about serving in this role. My journey with Prince George's County Public Schools began when I immigrated from Guatemala at the age of 7 and started as a multilingual learner at Cool Spring Elementary. For my mother and me, it was an immediate culture shock. Although she wasn't familiar with the school system, my mother held a deep belief in the power of education. I was fortunate to attend Prince George's County Public Schools from elementary through high school, ultimately graduating from High Point High School with a full scholarship to the University of Maryland in College Park. This accomplishment wouldn't have been possible without my mother's support. After graduating, I felt privileged to return to Prince George's County Public Schools as a professional staff member, serving students and families in various roles, first as an interpreter, then as a paraprofessional, afterwards as Spanish and ELD teacher, and later as a community school coordinator, both within the county and at the Maryland State Department of Education. I am a proud Prince George's County Public Schools graduate, and it's an honor to serve the community that raised me and where I now raise my own children. My role centers around supporting schools in effectively engaging families of multilingual learners, using strategies that bridge home and school. I collaborate closely with educators, administrators, community organizations, and various stakeholders to deliver culturally responsive support. I also advocate for multilingual families by providing them with the necessary resources to actively engage in their children's education and ensuring that their perspectives are included in school decision-making processes. Ultimately, I strive to build positive relationships among families, educators, and the community, fostering an environment where every student can thrive. To share a little bit about the theory behind how we will engage multilingual families, we have developed this framework. This framework is designed to guide us in effectively engaging multilingual families through meaningful partnerships to support student success and create an inclusive school environment. It emphasizes collaboration among multilingual families, school staff, community members, and school district officials. Our multilingual families bring valuable cultural knowledge and insights. Their active participation in partnership with schools helps to create a stronger support system for their children. School staff provide the expertise and resources necessary to guide students and families. By fostering trust and practicing cultural responsiveness, they create welcoming spaces where families are seen and empowered to engage. Our community members include local organizations, businesses, and nonprofits that offer resources and support that strengthen connections between schools and families. Finally, our school district officials provide policies, funding, and structures that promote equity and inclusion. They help ensure that schools have the resources needed to meet the diverse needs of multilingual learners. To make these partnerships effective, we'll focus on creating enabling conditions for engagement, ensuring key practices can thrive. These enabling conditions surround the framework. The first enabling condition is trust, which is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship and is essential when working with multilingual families. Trust is vital because it lays the groundwork for effective collaboration, reduces barriers to engagement, and helps build strong, lasting partnerships. Next, we have cultural responsiveness, which ensures that schools understand, respect, and integrate multilingual families' cultural backgrounds and values into the educational process. Without cultural responsiveness, engagement efforts may fail to address the unique challenges multilingual families face, limiting the effectiveness of the partnership. Equity ensures that all families, regardless of their backgrounds or circumstances, have fair and meaningful access to resources, opportunities, and participation. Finally, a collective vision aligns all stakeholders toward a shared goal, increasing multilingual family engagement and partnerships to improve outcomes for multilingual learners. This shared vision fosters unity and collaboration, ensuring everyone works together with a common purpose. Each element of the framework is reinforced by key practices that put these enabling conditions into action in practical ways. At the top, we can start with capacity building, which involves providing professional development and sustainable resources to school staff and families. This equips both staff and families with the tools and knowledge they need to engage in effective and meaningful ways. Building a cultural bridge involves recognizing and honoring diverse backgrounds while applying our own Dr. Love and Yang Chan Han's theory on immigrant parent involvement stages. This approach, combined with active efforts to reduce biases, fosters an inclusive environment that connects families and educators. Effective communication is key to building trust and supporting engagement. We ensure that our communication is accessible, delivered in the family's preferred languages, and culturally responsive. Creating welcoming environments where families feel comfortable sharing their thoughts is essential. And lastly, collaboration. We believe that collaboration means working together with families as equal partners. This practice involves shared decision-making, where families are seen as experts in their children's lives and are engaged through an asset-based approach. We also ensure that the knowledge and strength families bring to the table are acknowledged and used to inform school practices. At the heart of this framework is family engagement and partnership. It guides our efforts to create an environment where all multilingual families feel welcome, valued, and empowered to actively participate in their child's education. We aim to implement several initiatives that strengthen school-family partnerships. These initiatives will be implemented in collaboration with school administrators, English language development educators, parent engagement assistants, community school coordinators, and other school leaders. At the district level, we seek families, staff, and community members to initiate the Multilingual Family Engagement Steering Committee. They will work together to guide multilingual family engagement practices in schools, ultimately improving outcomes for children, families, and communities. A key initiative we are eager to continue is the International Parent Leadership Consortium, also known as IPLC. The IPLC was developed by Dr. Love, and she will be supporting us as we reinstate it again this year. The IPLC will include a cohort of 20 to 30 multilingual families who participate in leadership training, which helps them advocate for their children and support others in the community. We will also host our 11th annual International Family Day at Camp Schmidt, which ties into the 5th grade science curriculum. This event allows families to experience the camp alongside their children, participate in science activities, and engage with other parents and staff with the goal of ensuring that families feel comfortable with sending their children to Camp Schmidt or Hard Bargain Farm in 5th grade. For families aiming to enhance their English skills, we will provide English literacy through courses from Rosetta Stone. The goal is to target pilot schools and develop English proficiency for groups of families at select schools. We hope that with this pilot, schools will be able to implement similar programs for their school community in the future. Lastly, we hope to develop English language development ambassadors who will serve as a bridge between families and schools, promoting inclusivity in schools while helping families understand how to best support their children and collaborate with their child's school. These ambassadors may come from various stakeholders groups throughout the county. We also aim to provide more customized support at the school level, enabling staff to feel empowered in advocating for our multilingual learners and families. We will do this by providing professional development for school staff and parent engagement staff in schools to lead family engagement sessions with their staff. These sessions will focus on fostering welcoming learning environments, promoting cultural responsiveness for diverse learners, celebrating multilingualism, and strengthening family partnerships. We will also be developing workshop templates for schools to use when hosting events for multilingual families. These workshops play a crucial role in offering multilingual families resources, information, and connections that empower them to support their children's education and deepen their engagement within the school community. We are also hoping to streamline the support that families receive across all schools. Finally, we will increase communications tools for staff to effectively engage with multilingual families, from a secretary calling about a student's attendance to a teacher sending a class dojo about an upcoming lesson. An asset-based approach will be applied to foster positive connections. For all these strategies, we will be partnering with the Department of Family Engagement and Community Partnerships, as well as many other offices, including Title I, Community Schools, International Student Admissions and Enrollment, and the Office of Interpreting and Translation. This chart visually represents our timeline for district-focused strategies that will be implemented. You will notice it shows the activities that are planned, in progress, and completed at the district level. This chart and the chart on the next page will guide our work and ensure we are staying on track with completing our strategies for family engagement. Similar to the district level timeline, this is our school level chart outlining our timeline for implementing school-focused initiatives. Our office will use an internal multilingual family engagement dashboard to measure progress. Our goal with this dashboard is to provide insights into how schools are engaging multilingual families and how these efforts impact participation and community involvement across our district. Here's what the dashboard tracks. Schools hosting multilingual family engagement events. We will view a list of schools that have held events for multilingual families. Family participation. We will see the number of families attending school level and district level events associated with their child's school. This helps us measure community reach and family engagement and see where support for specific schools may be needed. The staff professional development participation will track school staff participate in district level professional development, focus on multilingual family engagement, supporting a more robust network of informed educators. And then finally, the school level professional development will identify schools that have hosted their own multilingual family engagement PDs and the number of staff members attending, showing our commitment to building capacity at every level. For a deeper look, the dashboard will also allow us to disaggregate multilingual family engagement data. We'll be able to analyze how attendance at district level PDs may correlate with the number of school-hosted engagement events, helping us identify successful practices. We will also be able to explore trends based on schools' grade level type to tailor our engagement strategies. Our dashboard will also allow us to compare engagement among Title I schools, community schools, and schools identified as CSI, ATSI, ensuring we're supporting our highest need communities. Lastly, we will be able to view engagement data by the Board of Education's district to maintain transparency and accountability across regions. We appreciate the committee for the opportunity to present our plan for engaging with our multilingual families. Families, thank you for your continued support and collaboration. We look forward to working together to foster inclusive learning environments that support our students' academic success and overall well-being. Familias, gracias por su continuo apoyo y colaboración. Esperamos trabajar juntos para fomentar entornos de aprendizaje inclusivos que respalden el éxito académico y el bienestar general de nuestros estudiantes. Thank you.
And Dr. Jackson, did you want to, before we turn it back over, did you want to just talk a little bit about the PEAs and anything that maybe wasn't said that your office is doing for multilingual learners and their families?
I will just briefly chime in. First of all, I'm so excited, Dulce. I have sent you an email already about the December 10th PEA meeting. Our work is so very much aligned. And I do believe that the PEAs need to hear from you directly so that they understand what is already structured, what is already happening. We do a lot with them, but I love it that we can come together and make sure that we're completely aligned in our work. We have 102 parent engagement assistants this year. This work is so phenomenal. Oftentimes, beyond Dr. Jennifer Love's team, they may feel that, oh, nobody else is paying attention to this work. They need to know what you're doing. So we invite this partnership to be expanded so that we can come back again together and talk about our alignment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dr. White and your team for the presentation. I'm excited about everything that I heard, but I'm going to first open the floor for discussion. There will be 2 rounds of 2.5 minutes each. Board members, do we have any questions for our team? Board member Adam Stafford and then Dr. Sephora Miller.
Sure. Yeah, I just wanted to say I was really encouraged by this presentation. I feel this is really awesome to see this, really intentional level of alignment to support our multilingual families and making the work of the school district so much more accessible. I was wondering if we could put back up that slide. It was near the end. It was like a kind of like the implementation plan. We could just go backwards a few. Yeah, there we go. The engagement, the district. Oh, give me 1 second here. I had a question. So the ELD ambassadors, are that's a new position that is coming about?
It's not a position. We're starting a group and we're trying to engage stakeholders to be
Yes,
ELD
that's what I meant.
ambassadors.
Sorry,
Yes,
that this is
yes,
this is
yes.
like a voluntary.
Yes, correct.
Okay. I'm sorry, please continue.
So we are just hoping to engage ambassadors at different levels, stakeholders, to have them know how to engage our families and to understand the training and the resources and to be ambassadors at the school level and the community and throughout.
Yeah, I really love the layout of this. This is really helpful for us to see sort of from a district level, sort of all of the different ways these initiatives interact with one another. Are we still leveraging those parent support centers and having support for our multilingual families at those centers?
The parent support centers closed as a result of the end of our ESSER funding, those funds that were allotted for creating those parent support centers that were created in response to the pandemic. So once that money expired, those centers closed.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Miller?
And Board Member Adam Stafford, what you're probably also thinking about is on the special education side, they have their own family support center, which their staff is humongous. So they have a whole component based on the fact that we have compensatory services, trying to understand the IEPs, all of that. So that's probably what you're thinking about too, especially from your last committee meeting.
Yes, no, definitely. I was wondering how we could leverage those centers to do, make some of this work visible. But I see how this is sort of strategically so this basically at the school level is really the main lever where we're going to see this work play out.
So we have district, do you want to go, Doctor?
No,
We
I'll
have district
jump in.
initiatives and school initiatives. This work, we envision it playing out throughout the district. We actually just met last week with all of the family engagement specialists from Title I Special Ed. Dr. Jackson's team was there and the CSC coordinators because we wanted to do a meet and greet and see where our work overlapped. So we did that last week and it was really kind of exhilarating to see how our work overlapped, and we're continuing that work. So where you say kind of seeing the work for MLs in all of the district, I think that kind of group that we started will help to do that.
Yeah, and I'm just, wondering, because I just feel like schools are the driver of change, and there are some schools that are doing really great things. And I'm hoping that their voices will bubble up to the top of the district initiative, just kind of combing through what's working well as we kind of do this in tandem. This is really encouraging. It's really exciting to see all of this come together. Great, great work.
And just so you know, Board Member Adam Stafford, the Family Engagement Steering Committee, that's exactly who you're talking about. So we collected over the past 3 years schools that have done family engagement events. And Ms. Santos went through that and looked at all of the resources and reached out to a few of those schools so that we could create that family engagement steering committee that will be comprised of our teachers as well as families to guide the work and hear what schools are doing, but then also continue to make the work reach in other schools.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Miller?
Thank you so much. Again, I would echo what Board Member Adam Stafford just said in terms of this is really great. Just to see how it's laid out, and this Gantt chart that we're looking at in terms of where you are and the progress that you've made is just phenomenal. I was going to ask a question about the family English literacy. This is going to happen. I guess I'm asking the question, would this happen at the school level? And then are they selected individuals at the school level who are going to be trained in order to host them, or the school will determine who they want to be trained to host them? The reason I ask is I want to give some context why I was asking. The reason I asked was I remember when we met with the equity team, we realized the equity team was doing a lot of great work, but the individuals were doing, staying after school. So would there be budget implications for us to ensure that we set aside some funding to compensate them for work if they're doing after school, weekends and stuff like that? That's why I ask.
That's a great question, Dr. Miller. We are actually working with 2 schools to pilot it this winter, early spring. And the goal is to see how much it costs to purchase the license, as well as pay the staff to host them. We hope that most of it will be virtual, but we also do want to have a component where the staff can meet with the families. As Rosetta Stone's a license, but we want families to be able to engage. We are hoping that schools will be able to use the template that we outlined for these family literacy events or cohorts and be able to host them at their school. They can use their funding, they could use community school funding, and we're hoping that we'll be able to expand them through our group that we've created.
Thank you. And one of the things I just wanted to bring up, Dr. White and Dr. Jackson, it is exciting to see, and I know, Dr. White, you always collaborate across, and so seeing family engagement and CNI coming in such an initiative like this, which takes the whole family in order to ensure that we're addressing the whole child is really, really phenomenal.
Yeah, I think just listening to Dr. Canny when she talked about bringing the different stakeholders, and if she didn't do that, everybody would have went off doing their own thing. We'd have touched parents 4 different ways, giving the same information, and then individuals, they get confused, right? But to empower the PEAs to have the right information, it all aligns, and we're working as one unit. It's more work on our end, on our side, but for parents, it's definitely more streamlined. And these are parents who will be probably more disengaged because they need that extra touch. And so we have to take the extra time that, Dr. Canny has chosen to do to make sure that those families get what they need. We just, especially with our different populations of parents, we just can't be a one size fit all.
And
That
I
is awesome.
appreciate that too, Dr. White. You're absolutely correct. Having that kind of coordination across the district makes it a lot easier for parents to understand where to go to for their support, and the people delivering the support. We always talk about one band, one sound. That is how we get there, by collaborating in this way.
Any other questions?
Yeah, that was it for me. It's just exciting. It's a lot at one time, but it's also very encouraging, or should I say exciting, just to see how the work has come together and how, you ensure that you aligned all of the resources, looking at the end user being the family and ensuring that the end user didn't have to go to different places to hear one voice. So that is just absolutely phenomenal. Thank you.
I have 2 questions that I want to ask. The first one is on the IPLCs. You mentioned that there would be about 20 to 30 identified families. How are those families going to be identified? Are they going to be distributed throughout the whole county? And if so, how is that process going to be done?
So we would hope that it would be distributed throughout the county and that schools would help us to find families that are interested. We are planning out the dates and then we will reach out to schools. We will probably prioritize possibly our CSI and ATSI schools first, their invite, and see if we can get some of those schools and then focus on our larger ELD populations. But Dr. Love has had IPLCs previously. And so also looking at the way she has done recruitment.
I'm very excited about that. From the very beginning, when I came to the board, that was something that I really wanted to see come back, refugee CPS. So I'm so happy to hear that we're going to start doing that work. Excited to see how it goes. The other part that I'm very interested is to hear, this is all great work. It sounds like it's very well planned out, but I'm wondering, in your planning, what do you foresee are some of the limitations that you may foresee in terms of delivering, and perhaps that may be an obstacle to actually getting to the goals that you have discussed?
I think just the shifts in getting our families to attend, whether we do that in person or virtually, and making sure we give families the options. I think also making sure that we create a streamlined message and making sure that it's streamlined across the schools. So right now, what we've seen is that schools are doing lots of great things, but we want to kind of streamline that message. So that may be a little shift, and we might get a little pushback from schools because they've liked doing all the things they've done, but we're trying to make it streamlined across the district. And I don't know if you have anything else to add, Dulce, that you think might be a limitation.
And I also wonder about, so our families, in the meetings that I've had with some of our community members, they always talk about that two-way communication. So not only receiving the information, but how can they express their needs? So how are we ensuring that that's happening?
So we're hoping that through the IPLC as well as the Family Engagement Steering Committee, but we're also looking, as Ms. Santos shared, creating that trust and creating those model communications that makes it easier for families to communicate. We also have been trying little pocket talk devices with Dr. Love that make it easier for our staff to easily communicate with families right on the moment. And so we've used that with our nurses. And so we're looking at how we can also use that with staff so that when they're out in the line for buses or when families come to pick up, that everybody can have an easy communication with families. So we're trying to create those structures so that families feel able to communicate with our schools.
Yeah, I find that for me as a board member, one of the things that really worked for me in reaching to our communities was to use the social media, Facebook, but having the ability to then have them discuss with me through WhatsApp. It worked so well. They, just a lot of communication, more than I ever expected to get. So
Yes.
utilizing those spaces is important because that's where our community lives. That they are exchanging in groups, they're exchanging in different channels there. So utilizing that for them to be able to then share with us what they need is important. And then in terms of the English language, the English lessons that we're providing, I hope that we can try to create as many community in-person pockets and pods as we can, because that's one of the things the families mentioned, that while they appreciate that there's virtual access, they much more rather be in person and have small community learning environments. So I'm really happy about all the stuff that we're planning to do. I think it's really great. I'm excited. I can see how all the work that we've been talking about in the last 3 months, the work that the diversity and equity group is doing, and the work that you're doing, it's really aligning. So I thank you for that.
And I love that you mentioned WhatsApp. As soon as Ms. Santos started, she's like, can we use WhatsApp? So we've already connected with communications. We're trying to see how we can use that and how we can create a district level group that we can use. So we're working through that at this time.
It's such a difference. That's where the way our families communicate. So thank you for that. If there are no other questions, do you have anybody else asking any questions? No? Okay. So for now, we're going to move on then to 4.0, follow-ups and next steps. Any follow-ups from tonight's meeting will be posted on board docs. I would like to thank the public, my colleagues, and PGCPS administration staff and board office for joining us this evening. Oh, I see you have a question. Is that question? You have a question, Ms. Dr. Miller?
No, I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
Oh, okay. Go right ahead.
I just want to say thank you, Dr. White. I want to say thank you. I know it may be a little premature, but it has been absolutely energizing to be able to work with the Academic Achievement Committee and you being the liaison for the committee. This is one area that is really near and dear to my heart, and you made the work very fulfilling as we worked here. I remember the first year that I started, we went through each department, and the following year, you recommended such a transformative way for us to look at it. I pray that this continues, in which we look at the actual research and the practices that you have in place, and to be able to look at it from different perspectives, being the school's perspective, central office perspective, the teacher's perspective, really shed light on the data that we looked at. So when we're looking at data, we had some context around the data. I pray that this continues. And I just want to thank everyone who's here and everyone who's not here for the great work that you shared. Continue doing this great work. Prince George's County is near and dear to my heart. This is where I started my career. This is where my children grew up and had a very positive experience in terms of their K-12 experience. And I want that to be the story to all. And everyone I see here and everyone who's come to this place, you pour your heart into the work. Please know that that was always seen when you came. You did everything, you gave everything to ensure that they had the best. So I just want to say thank you.
I want to personally thank you for that. It's interesting. My staff works extremely hard. I know I'm like, they probably look at me sometimes like, what in the world? But they come and they bring it and they really do the work. It's interesting that 3 of you on this call, because since I've been a chief, were my 3 leads from the Board of Education for academic achievement. And I think our first meeting go around with Board Member Adam Stafford, she had this idea of, well, how can we do it different? And then Zipporah, you and I actually got to execute what she imagined. And then Board Member Lasaya Frazier, it's been a distinct honor. I think tonight, this being our November meeting, speaks to the work that you've talked about since you've been on the board around multilingual learners. So it is from our division to the 3 of you. It's been an honor to continue to do this work and know that under my leadership, we will continue to press our way. We won't be perfect, but we'll keep trying to fill gaps and to figure out how we can continue to get better.
Thank you for that. Which then that brings me to 5.0, which is my closing remarks as committee chair. This has been an amazing ride. I get so emotional when I think about all the things that we have done together. As a board member, an immigrant, and a second language learner, my whole mission has been for our students to be seen, for that 40% of students that are rising in this school district to continue to grow. And I will make no apologies for having been that board member. I will continue my work with Prince George's County because being in the board is not my end role here. I want to continue as an advocate, and I want to continue to provide role models to our students. I want to thank you. I've been so blessed to be able to work with you, Dr. White. Your leadership is so empowering. I see your vision. I see how you are fair, equitable, and your lens is always about our students, and that's where we all should be looking at. To see Dulce sitting here today makes my heart sing, because having more that represent our students there, you are the measure of success, what our students need to see and how we need to continue to grow. Our students are brilliant. Our students are amazing. And they are going to be a whole bunch of other Dulces that are going to lead this district. So I leave knowing that it's in good hands, that when I first came, we didn't have as many representatives for our students, but leaving, I can name so many other representatives that look and will talk like our students that know the story and that will be there for them. So thank you for that. Thank you for all the work that you're doing. I'm gonna leave knowing that Prince George's County Public Schools is in good hands. Thank you. Now, with that being said, and there being no further business, the time is now 6:15, November 11, 2024. The Academic Achievement Committee is adjourned. Thank you to everyone for a great meeting tonight.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.